Currently, we are back at that pond that I was geocaching at a couple of weeks ago. I've really come to enjoy this area where this pond's located. Very glad that I came out here and found it geocaching. Reason being, this is a great road for running on. It's very, very rare here in southern Florida area to find a road that, number one, has shade, and number two, has very little traffic. And so this road has just been a perfect place to go for a run and take a few cast fishing afterwards, which I usually don't film because I'm, sweaty and only have time to literally take a few casts. But anyway, I had a revelation the other day. Being a fisherman, of course, as I run down the road, I'm always looking in the ditches and seeing what I can see. So this is the pond here, and over here there is this little grate, drainage grate. There's a sluice pipe thing. This ditch on this side of the road drains into this pond system where I was geocaching, and right in front of that grate the other day I saw what I believe to be a peacock bass. Now, I've been out here doing a ton of largemouth fishing, hasn't been anything spectacular, and this weekend I drove all the way out to West Palm Beach area trying to see if I could catch a peacock bass. It was unsuccessful, and right here in my backyard I potentially have peacock bass. Out here in like the Jupiter area, I've heard a lot of mixed reports as to whether or not peacock are this far north, but what I saw was either a peacock bass, it could have been a giant Mayan cichlid, and if it was a Mayan cichlid, it was a really big one, and who knows, I'm not really that familiar with the fish out here yet, but I'd say I'm 50% sure that it was a peacock bass, and even if it's not a peacock bass, unless it's a giant Mayan cichlid, I don't think it's a fish that I have caught yet. Right, let's try this again. This time, let's not mess up the cast. Let's see if we can catch that peacock bass that I think is in here. I don't know what, there's all kinds of fish in this little, this is just a roadside ditch, and there's so many fish in here. We have something. I don't think it's a peacock bass. Bluegill. Alright, well, there's a start. It's not our peacock bass, but it is a bluegill. Alright, well, there's the beginning of our multi-species fishing adventure. I think that's just the regular bluegill. I'm not super familiar, again, with all the different sunfish species that they have in Florida. What I want to catch is the peacock bass that's in here. I probably should be using minnows. Unfortunately, there's nowhere in my town to purchase minnows. Oh, missed them that time. It's definitely some fish down there. There we go, got him that time. What do we got this time? This is something different. Is this one of those warmouth things? I honestly don't know what this is. It's a new species for the list. I'm guessing this is one of those warmouth things. My phone, oh man, I must have left my phone in my car. Oh well, I'm getting it on video so I can look it up later. That's what it looks like. We just added a new species to the list, folks. I think that's a warmouth, but I don't honestly know. This is awesome. Roadside ditch fishing in Florida. And this ditch appears to be absolutely stacked with fish. I don't know if you can see how unbelievably shallow it is. It is, I don't know, maybe a foot, maybe 2 feet deep tops. And like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a peacock bass in here somewhere. That's what we're really ultimately after here. I can tell you, catching these things on the Ultralight is a lot of fun too. What is this now? Is this another new species? I think this is another bluegill. If it settles down and lets me unhook it. Ouch, 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 ouch. I don't know what. That looks different from the first fish I caught. I mean, it kind of looks like a bluegill, but it also kind of doesn't. These have got a spot there. Again, I don't have, my phone must be in my car, so I can't even take a picture. I don't know what we're catching here, folks. I don't know what this, I don't think this is a bluegill. It's got that dark spot there, and some stripes on it. I don't know what this is. So, it's another species we're going to have to look up. Alright, now I got on a fresh worm. See what we can catch here. Didn't take long at all to get a bite. Fish are really stacked down there. I will say it's quite a bit of fun catching them on this ultralight rod as well. What is this? This is another new species. How many different species are in here? No, this is a what is this? I'm catching all these new sunfish things. I don't know what they are. Look at the mouth on this thing. It's got a mouth more like a bass. This is yet another different sunfish. I'm gonna have to look all of these up. Catching totally new sunfish species. It's chunky. Look how fat it is. Very fat. Yeah, I'm catching new sunfish species is what I'm catching here. We're just gonna keep fishing, man. We're racking up new species, and to be completely honest, guys, I'm actually having a lot of fun. This is very, very fun. Battling these things on the ultralight rod is just like anything, man. If I hook into that peacock bass on this little thing, I'm gonna be in for a ride. This one's quite small. Quite small. This is another one with those stripes on the side. We got into the sand a little bit. Another one with the tiger stripes on the side. Pretty much just pulling these things out. There's that big peacock bass, baby. Peacock bass, peacock bass, peacock bass, peacock bass. I need minnows is what I need. If I catch something small enough, I might throw it on as bait. This one feels a little bit bigger. It doesn't feel peacock bass big. What is it? Whoa, it's a bigger one. That's keeper-sized bluegill. Look at this, guys. I'm catching keeper-sized panfish out of a freaking ditch. Yeah, I'm recording right now, right? Yeah. Check that out, folks. That's a keeper-sized bluegill. People in Western New York would be happy with that. And I just caught it in a ditch. A 2-foot ditch. Well, keep the camera rolling. And it's just taking seconds to get bites. This ditch is just overrun with panfish right now. This one's another little one. And this is another one of those little fat things. Small and fat. It's got a very big mouth, almost like a bass or a crappie. What's this one? Another one of those striped things. Is this a Mayan cichlid? I think this is a Mayan cichlid, guys. That's definitely a Mayan cichlid. Alright, our first Mayan cichlid of the day. That's a very small one compared to the big ones I've caught before. I shouldn't say this is definitely a Mayan cichlid. This is like, I don't know. This is like 70% sure this is a small Mayan cichlid. See, they do that thing where they can spin this fin all the way that way, which is kind of weird. Yeah, pretty sure this is a Mayan cichlid. So it is possible that what I thought was a peacock bass is actually a giant one of these guys. These guys get pretty big. They can get to like 15, 16 inches. Alrighty, folks, well, one more worm, and then we're going to switch strategies, because I'm having a lot of fun catching these sunfish, but I've stopped catching new species, and that peacock bass is not biting, or whatever that big fish is that's down here is not bit yet. And somewhere down here there's a very large 15, 16 inch fish that I think is a peacock bass. Look at the size of this bluegill. Whoa! Nice. Cool. That's a very round one. Very round. I think this is just a regular old bluegill. He's got my hook. I'm debating whether I want to keep this thing or not. I don't know how I feel about keeping fish out of a roadside ditch. Real quick, let's try a Senko. I want to catch that big fish that I know is in here. That's what I want to catch. Got something on a Senko this time. I think it's another one of the Mayan cichlids. No, it's another one of those big sunfish things. That thing ate a big old Senko that time. Goofy thing. I'm surprised I hooked it with this big of a hook. Look at the size of the hook I caught that little stupid fish on. Here he goes. Alrighty folks, well, we're mixing up the bait menu here. This is the advantage of taking 5 rods with you. You can just very quickly and easily just grab a pole with a different rig. We're going to try for that big fish that I know is in this ditch with a shrimp rig. See if that works to catch him. Look how long it takes to get a bite. 3 seconds. These sunfish are just unbelievably aggressive. If there's a peacock bass in here, I don't think I'm going to catch them. The sunfish are just too aggressive. First fish on a shrimp of the day. Shrimp does seem to single out the bigger sunfish usually. This is another one of those ones with the bigger mouth. Alright, well, I think we might just about have to give up on our peacock bass plan. Let me throw on one more worm and another shrimp and try that side of the ditch real quick. Well folks, I'm here on the grate. That big thing that I saw the other day was literally right here. And unfortunately I don't see it today. It's kind of swimming around this area freaking out because I feel like it wasn't able to make it over this little hump here. It must have swam in here when the water level was higher and kind of got trapped here. I don't see him today though, so maybe somebody else saw it and caught it, or maybe it died, an animal got it. There's lots of osprey and stuff in this area, so who knows. I don't see that big fish today though. To show you folks, all these fish I'm catching, I mean, that's how deep it is. All those panfish I caught were in that deep of water. That's, yeah, I don't know, about 2.5 feet. 2.5 faux. And I caught, you know, who knows how many panfish, including at least 2 keepers in terms of size, and who knows how many panfish are in here. I spooked everything away from this area now. Everything has dispersed, but I could keep catching panfish here all day right here in this little ditch. Alrighty folks, I just saw a bass swim by. So I threw my worm in front of it, and I think he ate it. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, he ate it. Oh, he jumped and missed him. Just missed a bass. Not a peacock bass, it was just a regular largemouth. A little one, but still cool. Alrighty folks, we just caught one. It's our first fish that was actually up inside the sewer there. First Florida sewer fish. This isn't really a sewer, it's just a sluice pipe that connects to that pond, but ouch, it's another one of those very dark. I think this is actually a bluegill. I think this is a regular bluegill, just a very, very dark one. Very dark one. Doesn't look too healthy, actually. Open your mouth. Choked it. Alright, this one's gonna need doctoring. Alright, had to get my needle nose pliers to get the hook out of this one. But, there you go, buddy. I don't actually know where my forceps went. Alrighty folks, well, we are now on the other side of this roadside ditch here, and I'm about to spook a ton of birds. So I'm gonna film because it'll be interesting when I do. Here goes one. Yeah, I guess we only spooked 2. I spooked a bunch before I even started the camera. It's so crazy, guys. I'm hearing fish. They're going nuts right underneath me. Underneath me in this little sluice pipe sewer thing. There's a lot of fish under here. Let's stick our rod tip deep under there. See if we can catch one. Oh, look at that. I see a dead fish. What is that? There's a dead fish under there. A big dead fish. Is that a peacock bass? I think it's a catfish, actually. That might be the fish that I was looking at the other day. No, it's a catfish. It's under there. It's a big, I think it's a giant bullhead. I'm not sure. I'm actually recording. I think this is another one of those warmouth things. Or is this a Mayan cichlid? Nah, I think this is a Mayan cichlid. It's got this thing. It doesn't have the spot though. Mayan cichlids I thought had a spot back here. I don't know what this is. Nah, I think this is a Mayan cichlid. It looks kind of like a Mayan cichlid. Alright, let this Mayan cichlid or whatever it is go. It's just getting dark, so it's harder to see the colors on these things now. It's on a sinker rig. Got one in the drain here. What is that? There's a new species. Some kind of catfish. Maybe it's not a new species. It might just be a bullhead. I don't think that's a regular... No, that's not a bullhead. Not a bullhead like where I'm from. Look at the tail on that thing. It's got a tail like an eel or a burbot. It's got a burbot tail. Yeah, look at the tail. It's definitely not a bullhead. It's another fish we're going to have to look up later. Caught this one kind of in the sewer. I wonder if that's what that dead thing is. Except for the dead one's a big one. A very, 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 very big one. Again, there's a dead fish, and I don't feel like taking the camera off my head and sticking it in the sewer. Of course, now it's too dark to see anyway. But there's a big, dead catfish of some sort. Catfish or bullhead of some sort. Alrighty, folks, well, as you can see, it's getting dark. The mosquitoes are out in force. Ironically, we did better on that side of the road, in the little roadside ditch, than we did here in this swamp, which is very ironic. Added a bunch of new panfish to the list. Only fished for about an hour and a half today. We spent about 40 minutes here and 45 minutes fishing the ditch and caught countless little panfish over there and had a lot of fun. Definitely suggest investing in one of these ultralight rods if you have not already. I mean, I bought this thing for brook trout fishing back home. They're not uncommon in western New York or New York, upstate New York in general, for inland trout fishing. I don't know how common ultralight fishing is here in Florida, but I mean, if you're a Florida resident and you like fishing, definitely suggest picking up one of these little ultralight rods and casting around in a ditch. They make the smallest of fish feel huge, and it's just a ball to get out there and catch these different species on this little ultralight rod. And ditch fishing is not unique to Florida either. If you guys watch my channel, you know I fish these types of places in western New York. Since I caught a bunch of little Mayan cichlids, I'm thinking that big fish that I saw while I was jogging down the road was probably a big Mayan cichlid. Again, it was about a 15-16 inch fish, but I don't know. Again, I've heard mixed reports as to whether or not peacock bass are indeed this far north. Some people say they absolutely are not. Other people said they're absolutely here, and you just need to know where to go. And all the ditches and canals in Florida connect. So if they're in extreme South Florida, they're in northern South Florida too. I don't know. But more of the story, we didn't catch our peacock bass today. We're going to keep trying. We're going to travel south towards Miami at some point because I definitely need to catch one before I leave. But I still had fun today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next fishing adventure.